At the beginning of the evening, everything seemed calm, a common situation in the city, until, in a matter of seconds, it turned into a scene worthy of an action movie. Security cameras capture a man sitting in front of a motorcycle accessories store, calmly looking at his phone, legs crossed. Nothing indicated that something was about to happen. Suddenly, a motorcycle appears going the wrong way, approaching slowly. At first glance, it might have seemed like someone familiar or just someone asking for directions. The rider stops, exchanges a few words with the man, who stands up and puts his hand in his pocket, handing over something. But the footage reveals that, in fact, it was a robbery. It wasn't a lost delivery rider, nor a friend. It was a criminal in action, another case of urban violence in São Paulo. What the thief didn't know is that the chosen victim was a military police officer waiting for a ride via app to go to the battalion. The officer remained calm, did not react immediately, and handed over his belongings. The criminal demanded more, even asking for his ring. Carefully, the officer removed the ring from his finger and gave it to the assailant. The thief's audacity didn't stop there. He also demanded the backpack. The officer took it off his back and handed it to him without showing any reaction. The criminal believed he had won. But the officer's strategy was planned. When the assailant put the backpack on and prepared to leave, the unexpected happened. In a fraction of a second, the officer drew his weapon and fired 10 shots at the criminal. Even wounded, the criminal managed to escape, but not for long. Hours later, after arriving at a medical facility, he did not survive his injuries. The officer's experience and composure were decisive. He acted at the exact right moment, neutralized the threat, and removed from the streets a criminal who would have no chance to harm anyone else. Another record showing the harsh reality of urban violence, but also the prompt response of someone always prepared to face crime. It was nighttime when a family was getting out of their car to enter the building. Suddenly, two men on a motorcycle approached and attempted a quick assault. The victim was cornered, with no way to escape, while the suspects, still on the bike, appeared confident in their actions. What they did not realize was that the owner of the vehicle, a police officer, was observing the entire scene from inside the entrance hall. Alert, he reacted immediately, maintaining control in the face of the threat. The officer fired shots, hitting one of the suspects, who fell to the ground. His accomplice, in panic, abandoned him and fled in the opposite direction of traffic. After ensuring that the family was safe, the officer left the car, escorted them inside the building, and continued to monitor the street. The injured suspect, who had remained on the ground, managed to escape minutes later using the motorcycle. Thanks to the officer's quick reaction and training, the family was unharmed, and the situation did not have a more serious outcome. The episode highlights the importance of vigilance and swift response in moments of risk, showing how prevention can be decisive.
Once again, security cameras recorded a tense scene in broad daylight. A couple was waiting at a traffic light on a high-powered motorcycle when calm was suddenly replaced by fear. The rider of the BMW noticed suspicious movement. Two men walking quickly toward the couple. The first, dressed in dark clothing, walked past without stopping. The second, wearing a light shirt, revealed his true intention and announced the robbery. The footage shows the passenger immediately stepping off the motorcycle, raising her hands in surrender. Other drivers witnessing the scene accelerated and left the area. One detail draws attention. A silver car parked nearby opened its door, but no one stepped out right away. Was it simple fear or something more? The couple remained under threat. The rider hesitated briefly before stepping off the bike, placing it on the stand and complying. The suspects demanded not only the motorcycle, but also cell phones, wedding rings, and personal belongings. Just as they prepared to flee, the unexpected happened. From the silver car, an off-duty police officer emerged. Acting quickly, weapon in hand, he intervened decisively. Within seconds, he managed to stop the suspects without firing a single shot. Thanks to his intervention, all stolen items were recovered: the motorcycle, personal belongings, and most importantly, the couple's safety. Both suspects were detained and taken to the police station. A firm and decisive response that turned what could have been another completed robbery into a frustrated attempt. Proof that preparation and timely reaction can completely change the outcome of an incident.
The footage shows a private parking lot almost completely full. A black car enters the area, standing out in the crowded space. Soon after, a parking attendant appears. He approaches the driver, making gestures and giving directions, suggesting some familiarity between them. The driver waits as the employee points to possible spots. Suddenly, the atmosphere changes. From the right side of the screen, a man wearing a helmet appears. Without hesitation, he points a gun at the attendant and forces him to lie on the ground. Next, the target becomes the driver. With no options, he is forced to hand over his watch, chain, and other belongings. Just as the suspect prepares to escape, a surprise occurs. The driver is not just another victim, but a police officer. Within seconds, the officer reacts, draws his weapon, and opens fire. The suspect runs in desperation, while the officer chases after him, firing again. Outside, other accomplices were waiting. In moments, the group flees with part of the stolen items. A bold action that nearly ended in tragedy. This episode shows how the officer's swift response prevented the situation from having far more serious consequences.